Hey everybody, I wanted to take today and look into how to update our code so that there is an options thing where you do a slider and it changes the level of the sound effects that we did last week. So as a reminder, the way our sound effects work is we have the three sounds, and those sounds play through, let me just go to the audio manager. The audio manager has two audio sources in it. And I don't believe we use that mixer like this. I believe the mixer is actually tied just directly up to the audio mixer here. And we should be able to, that one ties to SFX, and this one audio clip outputs to music. So I should be able to modify those two values and then listen to the music fade or listen to the characters make noises. I forget how I tied in characters. I think it was when I jumped. So appreciate that wonderful sound that is me recording myself. So how do we tie this in to a larger system? Well, we can go to our pause menu that we already have. Let me just verify that it's there. Options. Okay, and I see a few rando buttons, but I don't need any of them because they're not used. So let's go to menu controller and let's navigate into it. Boom. I'll tap F. Here we go. And I actually don't want the play panel. I want to be modifying the options panel. Make my screen a bit bigger. And let's zoom in. So I already know that I don't really need buttons like this. So the button region here. Button close. Oh, there's button close. Does button quit already do anything? Yep, quit pressed. So I won't remove that one, but I will mess with these. I'll rename this to vertical layout region, because it's not just going to be buttons, it's going to be sliders and all that type of thing. I'll remove these guys. Boom. I'll turn off control height. Maybe make them all based on the 1334 by 750. That means I can go here, put on my canvas, and say actually scale with screen size 1334 by, what was it, 750. Boom. So now I have about the size that it was before. But maybe I'd want to let's look at different resolutions. Which one did I size it to? I think I usually size to like an iPhone 8, but I don't immediately see it here. I'm not tripling the size. Let's do, maybe I did a 900 by 1600. That looks okay. I'll take it. Now I have these guys. If I say redo your height again, I go back to game. Okay, that looks okay. Undo the height thing. I'm just messing around trying to get the buttons to look okay. Make their heights 500. Their heights 100. Alright. Vertical layout region. Don't force child expand height either. Perfect. And now if I go back to game, see if it's just a bug, a visual bug. Turn that back on. Let's press play. Where are my buttons? That background's looking a little funky too. Funkies. See what's going on in there. Scene. off. Turn this on. Oh, I know why. Because I need to revert any changes here. Boom. That's why. Cool. Because the prefab was actually getting different from the instance in the game, and I must have been modifying the values that were exactly modified elsewhere. Okay, so instead of a button, this is going to be a region. So I'm going to create empty. I'm going to call it region SFX slider, or SFX slider region. Do we like that? Get rid of this button. And 100. Do I like 100? I think I like 100. And I'm also going to have a music slider region. Rid of that tail end there. Boom. Okay, so we've got 2 regions, and those regions can have little sliders and whatnot. That'll be cute. Let's practice how we do sliders. We can do UI slider. Boom. The sliders in Unity, they're useful, but they're also a little weird to work with sometimes. I do want to enforce whole numbers, so it's like 0, 1, 2. So it's not like all lighty. I like it more notched. We've got that. We can put like a little icon next to it. But since I already have a sized parent, I want this to be... I think I want this to be more... And this I haven't done this in a while, so let's work with it. But I believe I want it to be like boom, and boom. I want it to kind of scale with my screen, and it shouldn't super matter since I am doing the pixel scaling already. But I just like sizing things that way. It makes more sense to me. So let's just press play and see if it works. Can I slide you? Yes, I can. But let's make it go from 0 to 5. I don't know. 5. Boom. So now when I click and drag it and go 5 things in, let's click on my handle and make it bigger. I'm gonna verify. So the handle width is 20 because the left and right offsets are 0. Just make sure this makes sense. What if I make it more? Okay, that's the right side. That's the left side. And actually it modifies the left offset when you move it with your mouse. But the handle I want to be like 40 to make it easier to grab. And it looks like I don't want it to be enforced. So it's getting sized to, how's it sized against itself? Anchored, knob. How's it doing this? How's it doing? 0, 1, 0, 1. That makes sense. It's been a while since I held you in my arms. Okay, so I want to change the size of this. I feel like I'm having a brain fart. I don't want it to be like that. This was 20 before, right? Let me start fresh. Looked like a value got messed up there. Slider. I've got my slider. Oh, I bet I need to go at it from the other way around. If I want to make it bigger, then the height of the whole thing has to be 40. Then the background, yeah, it needs to be less. And then now I can go to the slider fill area object and set it to 40 width. Okay, and now it's a circle again. Okay. Okay. Not a super fan of that, but it's all good. I could mess with the width like this to make it take up its region. or I could do the X from 0.1 to 0.9. Boom. And maybe I would also do 0 to 1, and then I would offset the left and right sides by however many pixels makes it look good. Like that. So that now like they're in line with the buttons below it and stuff. It feels nicer. Alright, so we've got that. We've got our slider. It's within this bigger thing. Maybe I want the slider to be bottom aligned, so maybe I'll do 1 and 1 with the nesting it from the bottom. Boom. Am I crazy? Oh, 1 is the top. The old UI system, it was the bottom when it was called you did like a GUI on GUI inside of inside of scripts, and you'd like draw in the rectangles, and it used 1 was the bottom, but now 1 is top. Now, as in the past 10 years. Just old habits. Okay, so now we have this object. We have a slider. Probably want to start it in the middle. 0.5. We've got this guy, and I can slide it left and right. Sure. Do I want to do whole numbers? I don't know. Let's leave it off for now. I'll just put it at 0.5. I'll also put in a header. Let me just think about this. So I know I have a height of 40, and I think the whole height is 100 pixels. Yeah, see 100 pixels. And I'm doing it like this because, just a reminder, I am scaling with screen size, so I can safely work with pixel widths and heights. If I wasn't, then I would like do some percentage scaling and all that type of thing. So, I mean, I could even, if I wanted, do something a little different, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So here is my slider. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Okay. So I want my title, so I'm gonna right click in here, UI text, and I'll say SFX volume. Maybe you could add a little icon in there. Whatever your heart desires. Do I have 2 spaces? Yes, I do. SFX volume. And I don't know why I typed it here. I meant to say like SFX volume text or header. I'll do header. Boom. Bam, bam, boom. So we've got our header. I already know that it's going to be, let's go from 0 to 1. And it's 100 pixels. It's 100 pixels high, and I already know that the bottom 40 is the slider, so I know that I can go from 0.4 to 1, and that'll be exactly the space. I could otherwise pivot it from the top and make it a size of 60 pixels. What do I care? Either works. So I got that. I'll set it to best fit. Maybe I'll set it to bold. Do I have any custom fonts in here? Ooh, upheaval. Ooh. I'll do that. That looks fun. Maybe I'll make it white with a shadow. Boom. Shadow of like 2 and -2. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And you can actually go through and you can replace all these with whatever you want. So like, I don't know, where's my image? There's the background image and the foreground image. The foreground image is the fill. And if I wanted, I could make both of these use like this or something. Because I have that as a sliced image already. Why not? Boom. Now I can like fill in. I don't know why I would do it like this, but I think I like the orange more as the fill color. Let me go back to here. If I had made these white scale colors, then I wouldn't need to do all this garbage. I'll make this the blue, but make it like a faded blue. Oh yeah. Perfect. So now it'll fill in with the gray. I can take my slider, and that slider, let's give it my square image. That looks nice. How's that? Maybe I'll make it 2. Maybe I'll make it 0.1. Ugh. 0.5. I don't know why I did such a bad job slicing that texture. Make it feel chunky. Feels chunk. And see, I just modified all those textures, and I can still do that. I think I still prefer this to look bigger, so let's go to my handles and all that. Let's go to this region. Instead of 0.2 to 0.8, let's make it 0.1, 0.9. Let's make my text bottom aligned, but make its max size, max font size bigger, maybe like 60. Okay. And instead of going to 0.4, let's give ourselves a little breathing room to 0.38. Oh, other way around to 0.42. Actually, I could also just give myself bottom texture, bottom pixel. So like maybe I want 5 pixels of breathing room. Boom. And if I make the whole thing bigger, you can do it like that. How's this look? Does this look any better? Might be better on the phone, but feels small. I would have to massage it. You'd have to massage it, make it look good. Anyway, okay, so we've got that. Now I can tie it into something. You can have an on. Where's that slider? Boom. Slider. There's an on value change. So on value change, you can pass that up to something and inform it, hey, this value has changed. So I'm going to go to maybe my options panel. I've got a menu panel script. I'm going to make myself a new one. Unless I already did. I didn't. Okay, so in here, create script options panel. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can override it and make it do whatever I want. So I go to options panel. Come on. All right. Boom. Now I want to make it of type. What is it? Menu panel. Boom. And now it's exactly like menu panel. Everything is the same. So if I pop back over to this options panel, I can remove this. Boom. And then I can add component options panel and just go through and fix wherever things might have gotten messed up. So I've assumed close must have talked to it. It did. Let's drag options panel back in. Options panel close, I assume. Boom. Then I can pop back over to, I would assume that the menu canvas has a reference to all of its, oh, maybe it doesn't. I would have assumed that something else would have references to all these. Oh, the play panel button options, I bet. Yep. Button options needs to tell the options to open. Boom. And inventory panel, just check in. That all looks good. And let's go to Is there a close? Does that have all its connections? It does. So we got no null connections anymore. So now when I press play, everything should just work. And I boom, open this up, press play. Options. Cool, that all still works. All right, so now that we have options panel have its own script, we can pop back over to it, and we could have a custom method that says, okay, public void on SFX slider changed. And did it take in a single? Let's make it take a float. I have to look up exactly value. I think I have to look up exactly how to format that. I could be wrong with this. Let's pop over to options panel and see if it lets me drag that in. Here's my slider. Wait, where's my slider? SFX slider region. Slider, there it is. Add. And can I put in options panel? Boom. On SFX slider changed. So I don't actually want to pass in a number. I want it to automatically pass the value. Let's just double check that syntax. Slider, Unity, C#. There is a specific thing. Why am I using DuckDuckGo? On value changed. I'll search that. On value changed. Ah. Oh, interesting. They don't pass along that single there. They don't pass it along. You gotta do it like this. I thought it didn't work like that, but hey, we're all good. So it's actually just going to be on SFX slider changed, and I'll have a reference to it. So using Unity engine.ui public slider SFX slider, and then once it's been changed, I can check the value. So float current value equals SFX slider dot value. Yep. And now over here, I should be able to just click on my slider, say options panel on that changed. Boom. So it has the value now. It's somewhere between 0 and 1, could be 0.5. And then maybe I also want to get my audio manager. And maybe you want to put in a method here to control, because it is the audio manager. It makes sense that it can manage the master volume levels. So maybe I could have something like public void set SFX volume mixer level. Boom. And maybe I'd get some mixer, which is the audio mixer dot, I assume set float. Yep. And is it between 0 and 1? I don't actually know. I could look it up, but okay, so set the float of the mixer level to the name is going to be, I think we just called it SFX. We can double check that. And the value is going to be value, which I'll pass up here, float value. Boom. So let's go back to script here and go up to audio and go into audio mixer. I think I can just double click that. So let's see what our values are. It looks like SFX We got like -1 and +20, that type of thing. So I think what I'd want to do, pop over to the UI. I could do this a 1,000 different ways. I think this is kind of nicer, so I don't have to like micromanage. Just go to my slider region and say, maybe I want it to do, because I'm looking at this, maybe I want to go from like between 10 and -10. Maybe that'll be nice. I think -10 actually still won't be quite muted. But let's go to that slider. Min value -10, max value 10. Current value, let's set it to 0. So that starts at 0. So we'll report it, we'll set it, boom. And the options panel. Who needs to know his slider, so let's put that in there. There it is. It's called SFX slider. I'll drag that over here. Boom. So now he knows what his SFX slider is. So I got the value, whatever it is, and now I can say audio manager dot instance, because we made it a singleton before, dot set SFX mixer level, and we're going to do it that current value. Boom. And now that we did that, if I press play, and I jump, see how it's doing that? Now if I go down, ooh, that didn't look like it worked. I'd expected to have done this. Maybe I can only do it in editor. If I drag this down, see how like now it's almost muted? Interesting. Okay, so that didn't do what I expected it to do. Let's pop back over here. Set mixer level to float value. Wonder if it's between 0 and 1. Let's just pass in a hard-coded -24. Or excuse me. Let's go to definition. What does it want? It wants the name, which is SFX. It wants the value. That's the value of exposed parameter specified. When a parameter is exposed, oh, isn't there a checkbox somewhere? I could be wrong. Oh, I feel like there's a checkbox. Oh, where is it? Oh, let's Google this. Set mixer group volume unity. Oh, I feel like there's a checkbox somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I forget. There it is, expose. Ugh. Totally forgot about that until just now. So right click. I click on it. Where's that expose? What is that expose? Expose pitch of SFX. Actually, I think I want to just expose attenuation. And then if I want to change that, what do I do? Let's just make sure I did the right thing. Set the float of music volume which he doesn't have, so it's not very useful. Let's say it says music there. Set float of music vol. They're doing some logarithm times 20. Let's practice. Let's see if what we did just does it for now. Doesn't yet. So what's going on here? So we have attenuation. Attenuation is a variable. Let's go back to here. SFX slider. I could go from 0 to 1. I'm just exercising my due diligence here. The default value. Make it 0.5. Let's play their game. Let's say plop that in there. Why not? Yeah, okay, they have the slider. Master level is equal to the slider's value. And then the master mixer, go to that. Right. Set music volume. Get the slider's value, and then I set my float to being music vol to music level. That's basically what we're doing. That is a checkbox, so I'll take it. It'd be crazier. Man, what if they just had the code base right there so you can just look at it? I'm sure they have a Unity Learn somewhere. I haven't done this in a couple years, so I just want to verify I'm doing it right. And this is how I do my research. Solo mutant bypass, it's fine. Sure. All right, let's try it. Let's see if what I did does anything. I'll set that down. Okay, and I'll set it up. Yeah, it's just not modifying it. I'm going to do some research and get back to you. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay. So when I hit expose parameter, it did expose it, but it gave it an auto name that is dumb. So my expose param, I need to rename that to say SFX volume param. How about that? So now I can take this copy and I can put it in here. Wow. I'm absolutely amazed. So let's go back over here. Let's press play. Options, got it. I'm so irritated. Oh, now it's moving. See on the left, it's moving. I'll click X. Whoop. And now I'll set it to 0. Much quieter. Set at the top. Much louder. So let's go further. I don't know if you actually need to do this. I'm just gonna pass value along. That was just me like looking at different code. And yes, a logarithmic scale is technically what you want to use, but I'm not gonna stress it too much. I see it goes between -80 and 20. I'll take my slider. Boop, boop. And my brain farting. There it is. There it is. Slider. And I'll make it go between, let's say -20 and 20. It'll be quite loud, but hey, we're in it to win it. Maximum volume. Whoop. Oh. Minimum volume. Yep. Pretty good. Nice. Okay, so that's where we're at. Now I can do the same thing for the music. So I'll have set music mixer level. It'll be music volume param. I'll pop over to here. And I can't believe I forgot. I was like, I know there's like a checkbox somewhere. So I remembered this checkbox where you turn this into a parameter. Was it not there? Where was it? Oh, there it is. Expose parameter. Boom. And then I needed to go here and call it music volume param. Sure. So now I have that. God, what a weird system. Okay, so now I have that. I wish you could just say like master.sfx.volume and like it would just know that's the thing it should edit. It shouldn't have to like make such a weird. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm being grumpy just because for my own fault, I got grumpy. Okay, so now I need to give myself a new slider. So let's just duplicate this one. Don't need that. I can open prefab. Let's turn on options panel. Let's delete this region because I'm just going to duplicate the one above it. I'll call it music region. Or music slider region. Boom. I'll call the text inside of it music volume header and music slider. Boom. And looking through here, make that say music volume. Perfect. Now, last but not least, I go to my slider and I make sure that instead of saying on SFX volume change, it should say on music volume change, which we haven't added yet. So I added it to the audio manager, but I did not yet add it to that options panel. I can just copy, paste. It has to be inside the brackets. Paste. I'll call it on music slider changed, and here it'll say set music level. I need another slider to represent my music one, music slider, so that I can read it here. Current value is equal to music slider value, and then I pass it along. Perfect. So now over here, I can say, hey, options panel, the music slider was changed. And I can go to my options panel and tell it who the music slider is. Here's the music slider. I'll turn off options panel, so that's my default panel. I'll press play. I just remembered I need to go back and revert, because I was changing stuff here in play mode instead of in my prefab. So I'll override and revert. Boink. So now the changes are only in the prefab. I go to my options. That didn't work, but let's see if this still works. I think I broke something. Broke something. What did I break? What did I break? Let's go back over. It's getting the instance of the audio manager. It's setting the SFX mixer level to this value. Current value. Yep. And yep. Let's go here, go to definition. SFX volume param, yep. Yep, that all makes sense. Set SFX mixer level. On SFX volume, on, yep, that all makes sense. What did I do wrong now? Do I have to do another clap pause? I really don't want to do another clap pause. I just want it to be done. So here's my prefab. This one on slider changes as on SFX. This one says on music slider changed. Okay. I have two exposed parameters. One is SFX volume param. Let me check for typos. No typo. Look over here. Check for typos. No typos. Am I going crazy? I might be going crazy. Oh, it's changing. Oh, it's just going between 0 and 3. Whoops. Okay, so let's look at my... Oh, look at the max value. That's what happened. Okay, so let's go between -20 and 20. The reason that is because I must have done this change in the game, not in the prefab. That's what happened. -20 to 20. Oopsies. I'm so glad I didn't have to do the clap pause. It's quieter. It's louder. Alright, that's that. Well, I hope this was an interesting... let me put that down here. You can also set default levels and all that type of stuff. I hope that was interesting and educational for y'all. That is how I would set up a slider with the audio mixers and all that type of stuff, so that you can have the player have the ability to change the volume on their own for the different settings and have those things feed through, so when particular sounds happen, they go through to those particular mixers like the SFX group or the music group. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.